Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Chassidus in the morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Look at the Sichas, Chalak Aleph, Pashas, Vayishlach. Today and this whole week's learning is the nishmas Yehoshua Simcha ben Chaim Shalom Moshe, in honor of his love for Jewish learning and dedication to Yiddishkeit. May neshama have the highest aliyah and all the schusim of our learning and what we take from the learning and that we live by the learning and we transform our lives so much shall all be given over to that schus and for the donor that gave towards us. Without that, we couldn't make these things possible. They deserve the biggest. The best reward they can get is the schar of us learning and us connecting and changing our lives with it. Mitzvah Shem, by all of us. So to finish off today's vart, today's portion of the Sikha, that and just to preface something that we had sort of a discussion about it before, after Shiur yesterday. That's all the good stuff happens when it's not recorded. So the important dynamic that when we're saying the Yaakov, what we're learning and what the Rebbe is telling us to learn from Yaakov is that he has this dynamic going on. That on one hand, Yaakov has all this stuff. On the other hand, he's saying this stuff is sort of not so important to me. And I think this is sort of the lesson. This is the dynamic we're meant to be realizing. The Torah is not telling us, and Chassidus is not telling us that we shouldn't have gashmis. We can have gashmis, and there's nothing wrong with having gashmis. The idea of having gashmis, where it comes wrong is where the machshava behind it and what it does. Is the gashmis where something we're having to compare to others, and we have to look as good as the other people and the next door neighbors, and what are they going to think? If anyone got to listen to the song from the 8th day, in the end of that video clip, they have they ring it out a little bit. Very short, but they ring it out. And the point that they're saying is that part of the song, he says, I can't remember, you have to watch the whole thing, but he talks about how the neighbors look, but they don't understand. Meaning sometimes we get worried, what are the neighbors going to say? What are they going to think? They don't understand. And the Vayishlach didn't understand because I don't care about these things. So it doesn't matter. Like, of course, like when we said yesterday, our kids should look like a mensch, and we should look like a mensch, and we should have things. But why do we have it? It's because I just want to feel good about myself. And that's all is because I'm a chassid of the Rebbe, I'm a Yid, and I'm a representative of Hashem. My job is a divat achtenim. So I have to be a mensch. I have to look like a mensch. I have to feel like a mensch, act like a mensch. And I need to be menschlich, things like that. So so like we talked about the mashal, we gave a mashal of the way we dress. That we should dress respectably because we should be respectable people. And it's not, and like when we talked about like the union of tznius, that one, I think something that seems to miss a little by people, maybe the way it's taught, it's more like specific size of clothing and where it goes, but it's an attitude. It's I'm the daughter of the king, and I should feel that way. So therefore, when I walk on the streets, I should dress like this. And I talked about how for me myself, it's the same thing, and doesn't not apply for us. And I see how I've changed the way I do things because of this idea, and that's what we're saying. So Yaakov has all these things, but the verse is it's not that these things define who I am. But I don't have all these gashus. I'm a less of a human being. I'm the same human being. I'm a perfect human being without it. And the reason why I have this gashness is for the right reasons. And that's what we're saying. So that's essentially what we're talking about. It's a whole forbearing and really something we have to think about in ourselves, the way we do things and why we're doing things. Because we can't get caught up in just doing it just because we want to act like the Joneses and make sure we fit in. But on the same hand, it doesn't mean we should look like schleppers. Anyway, it's for another forbearing. Vav. Kol Yanim. Yeah, so all the ideas, Hein, Hare, Bashkacha Pratis. It's a divine providence. What's the divine providence in regards to this whole parasha? Gulas Admar Zaken, Chassidus, Yutis Kislev, Tov Kuf, Nuntes. Yutis Kislev, 1799 or 98. 98 was Yutis Kislev. So era, when did that happen? Era Vayishlach. It happened in the week after Vayishlach. Sheba Klaus Hayra Hamura, which Vayishlach is this, all this lesson we've been talking about. Chassidus gives every single one of us as a koyach, the ability, Vayishlach, the power and the ability his chashev im matzav shel elam shemisaviv. We don't take consideration what's going on in the world around us. And what do we do? Lahashlim ba'atzmai es havedas im love and gartim, and we can fulfill the job of, like we learned, with love and I lived. Lahagia l'matavay l'dargav yili chamer zemach moshiach, to reach the level, like Yaakov said, have a chamer, the donkey of Mashiach, that we can live. That the lesson of Chassidus is giving us the ability, and this is what we're saying. We have to learn Chassidus. One of the reasons why we learn Chassidus, with Chassidus, we have the ability to live, to not be affected by the surroundings, and to be a person ready for Mashiach, meaning we transformed ourselves in the world around us, that it's Mashiach times, even though in what's around us, the way people are is totally different to that. It could be love on, but where we're focused is the right place. And this can only happen if we learn Chassidus. Chassidus is the preparation and the vessel for the revelation of Mashiach. Aliyah through spreading the offspring outwards. Will merit to Master will come immediately, speedily in a day. And like we said in the Simcha, that it's through our Avodah. And like we said before, there's a lot of foraying in the Simcha. It's a beautiful Simcha, like all the Simchas we've been having. But we're learning that we have to look around the world around us. At first, like we said, we were talking about it, we can have the gashes. But we have to realize that what do we hear? And when we walk around, and when we do things, and when we interact with people, it doesn't matter who it is, a Yid or not a Yid. We're on this mode of I'm Yaakov, and I'm in the house of Lavan, and I'm Garti. I'm keeping mitzvahs. I'm doing the right thing. So when you go, when you go to the Walmart or you go to the supermarket, we have an opportunity to interact with someone. We interact in a nice way, and we say, "Yeah, how you doing? What's going on?" And you see, it's another Yid. You share a vart, things like this, and this is what we're doing. And this is our mode. This is what our head is thinking. And it could be some of us. It could be hard, like I'm uncomfortable. More introverted. But it's finding a way. You don't have to fight yourself, but it's finding a way that you could express. See, how can I do this? And I see, if I live in the outside community, I see another, a friend of mine, say, I learned this good vart, or you shared something, and things like this, and it's tailored to the person. I think we understand what I'm saying, and this is what we're saying here, and this is what Chassidus brings us, the ability to have this ability to do this. And by all of us, we should do this, and for sure, if we try this, we do this, and as long as we're not too harsh on ourselves, we'll be very successful at it, and it'll be life-changing. It's literally life-changing when you walk this way, and that's what it is. But the only thing that stops us from being life-changing is being rough on ourselves and saying it's not good enough, I'm not good enough, and I didn't do a good enough job. I only said one vart in the whole week, it's not good enough. So no negativity. But try this and you'll see it'll be transformative. Today we'll start a little bit the next section. So live lefi hamedrash hametzaitet elel. According to the medrash we said just before, we talked about the medrash, talking about Mashiach, that v'chamer zemach Mashiach, the donkey is talking about Mashiach. The Yaakov is telling Esau about the donkey, and the Rebbe is saying, the Yaakov is saying, I have the donkey, I have Mashiach donkey, I'm ready for Mashiach. He had that whole vart. The Yaakov came to Esau, I'm ready for Mashiach. No, I did all the violent tzitzis. Did you? And the angels came back and they said, you sent us as achicha, but he's Esau. He's not achicha, not your brother. He's not on your level. He's still Esau. So he said, Lo muvenes madua. So something doesn't make sense over here. Lo muvenes madua remez Yaakov isagul asida b'inyan chamer. So why is Yaakov explaining the idea that he's ready for Mashiach with using a donkey? And he's going to explain the question even more. The question gets even strengthened in light of Hanema, what it says in the Gemara, Sanhedrin, Kasiv, the Aru Am Anane Shmaya, and the people will have the clouds of glory. Meaning Mashiach comes with these clouds of glory. And then also it says, Ani Roichev Al Chamor. And Ani, like a poor man is riding on the donkey, which is like what we're talking about, the Mashiach through the donkey. It says Zachu, so the Gemara explains, Zach, if they're meritorious, if you're doing very good, Am Anane Shemaya, they will have the clouds of glory will come. They're not merit, they'll have the poor man riding the donkey. Seemingly, the example that Yaakov is giving of the donkey is the lower level. Why is he explaining that he's ready for Mashiach, but in the terms of the lower level? From here, when we're meritorious, when we merit this, the Gula will be with the clouds of glory. But if so, that's when we merit. That's when we're meritorious, we get the clouds of Shemaim. Why does Yaakov give the example? That he was prepared and ready for Gula. In which way? That he's completing his Aveda, but what is he using? Meaning, there's two examples that he used from Mashiach comes, is riding on the donkey on the clouds. The clouds represents when we're zachu, when we're meritorious, when we're good, when we manage to do it very well, and that's what we get. That's the best of the best. Yaakov is working on himself, Hashem's on himself, and he's telling Esau, hey, we're ready for Mashiach. And what does he use the example? The lower level, the level of the donkey. Why? Seemingly he should use the level of the clouds. That would be the better example to use. That'd be, it's more powerful. To understand, to get the answer, we have to come and join tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.